Hey everyone, happy Friday. I just want to do a really quick message for those beautiful women out there who are pregnant at this time. You're bringing a beautiful life to this world. And hopefully, if you can do me a small favor, tag people that you know that are about to deliver a baby or maybe just became pregnant, because I think this message would really resonate with them. And we're just trying to help out as many unborn children that we can. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Emanuel. I work for Coding Alternative. I'm an emotion code practitioner. And basically, I help people remove emotional baggage and chronic pain using applied kinesiology and magnets. And so my wife owns a practice, and it's over. We work with over 700 people this last year, and so I like to give little tips, kind of something that's come to my observation. And one of the things that I wanted to share today is that when I start working with people the first time, what I start noticing when I start releasing some of these things called trapped emotion, these energies in their body, what happens is that I notice that a lot of them are either inherited right in the beginning or they're trimester trapped emotions. Inherited is something that was written back in, they did an article in the 2015 Scientific American. It talks about how victims of the Auschwitz, these Jewish people, that they had, depression, PTSD, anxiety, and their descendants also had very similar qualities themselves. How is that possible? Well, it's because this energy actually traveled down from egg to egg, and basically they inherited these emotions. Now, that's one thing that obviously women can't really change. If you have an inherited emotion, you basically got it from your mother or your father, so there's not much you can do. But what you can do is these things called projections. I know, for example, this doctor once said, and I want to read it to you real quick. It says, a pregnant woman's thoughts have a physical connection to her unborn child. Everything the pregnant mother feels and thinks is communicated through neurohormones to her unborn child, just as surely as are alcohol and nicotine, says Dr. Thomas Verney, whose books, professional publications, and founding of the Association for Prenatal and Perinatal Psychology and Health, which is APA, and Journal of Prenatal and Perinatal Psychology and Health, have established him as the world-leading authority on the effect of prenatal environment or personality development. So I wanted to give some credibility to these ideas that it's not just me coming up with this, it's that these doctors are realizing that these children are being programmed. How many of you guys have heard the saying that, we were created for success, but programmed for what? For failure, right? Well, we've heard that before, but what does it really mean? People usually say, well, I had a really rough upbringing. Yeah, that's one way to look at it. Or I had, really tough time at school, lowered my self-esteem. That's another good way to look at it. But I want to talk about early programming, and we're talking about prenatal projected emotions, and that basically whatever the mother is swimming in, whether it's anxiety, panic, depression, sadness, things like that, the child is being affected. As soon as I start working with a mother and I start telling her, like, okay, you received this emotion back in the second trimester, they're like, wow, they actually get acquainted with what their mother was going through. For example, I had a client that her mother was kind of thinking about putting her up for adoption. She was very, very young. The gentleman was very much older, like, I don't know, like 10, 15 years older. And so it was a problem. It was controversy. He was wondering, like, we should, you're not ready for a child yet. And so unfortunately, it seems like when I first worked with her, most of her body pain, this lady who I work with, had to do with and emotional pain, had to do with second trimester, which she told me that was the most kind of indecisive moment for her mother, where she was wondering if, she received the most persecution around that time, where she had to make a decision. And so I found it in her body using applied kinesiology, and we were able to remove it. But what does it say? She says, wait a minute. She started saying, if I received these from my mother, then what have I given to my children? And so I know in Japan and Asia, they have these practices where they kind of move the man aside a little bit, kind of like take a little hiatus from the man, because the man could cause some drama. I get it. Or just maybe let the man know, hey, we need to be very careful with how we, how we treat each other, because the child is in, there is a C factor, A, B, C factor. And so that's one, the woman does that, just kind of like really puts her defensiveness up and say, hey, we need to make sure that this child comes out calm and peaceful. And then they start entering into meditation practices, eating healthier food, just doing things that basically enrich her. Sometimes I know one of the things that this article recommended was imagery, visualization, hypnosis, things like that. And the visualization one's beautiful, picturing a beautiful child coming out, picturing how it would look like it's the voice of a healthy child, and having this baby in your arms, and just different things, what does a healthy baby look like to you in your mind. And so those visualizations help that baby out. And so one of the other things too you can do is you can release your trapped emotions, things that you're maybe not complete with in your past, which is what I specialize in, or clear this heart wall that's also preventing you from feeling and receiving love, something that can really help you out and increase your joy and happiness, which indirectly and directly assists your child as well. So anyway, I just for those of you who have a child, first of all, I want to say congratulations, or that you're going to have a child, or you just found out you're about to have a child. Hopefully this message reaches you, and maybe you can touch someone else's lives and let them know, hey, look, what you say and what you feel around your child really does truly matter. Because I've worked with over 700 clients, and as I work with them, I've noticed the same pattern, that there are trimester trapped emotions, like first, second, and third. And it's just very interesting to know that they were programmed very, very early, and then actually it affects them later on. Their body starts having pain, and they start dealing with emotional issues. So hopefully this message resonates with you. Like I said, you can do your own research. You can look up, prenatal emotions and things like that. There's probably tons of blogs and doctors researching it. But as an emotion code practitioner, as a holistic practitioner, it's just very obvious. I'm always looking for the trimesters, and it's just really interesting how the mom is doing some early programming. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like I said, feel free to share or comment below if you have if you do energy work yourself and you've noticed that there are such things as prenatal emotions, or if you have a question, you can also put a comment below. But hopefully this served you, and I'm just looking out for those children out there that are about to come into this world. Let's give them a safe ride here. So with that, wish you guys every day happy day, and hope you enjoy your weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.